Hey, what's up, guys? So this is a quick video, and it's designed for specifically because I've been getting a lot of questions lately. So it's for you if you're that person who's just starting your whole freelancer journey, and what would move the needle most for you is just getting your damn first client out of the way. And so I'm going to show you two things in this video. One is what works, and another is what doesn't. So I'll save you a lot of the times. It's going to be very short and to the point. It's inspired by this post here. Um, so one of the people watching this video will hopefully be this person. They're saying, hello, owner's name. This is their cold outreach message that they were sending. Hope you're doing well. I was on your business Instagram page and think blah, 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 whatever they thought about it. Anyways, the reason for my message is that I was on your Facebook page and saw that you aren't running any ads, which to me is unbelievable because you have so much potential, especially given the current climate where many companies are getting more digital present. It should be presence, but there's a typo during the coronavirus so they can gain more customers and become immune to crisis like this one where everyone is sitting home on the internet. Owner's name, if you're interested in increasing your customer number massively on a monthly basis, then I would like to meet with you over the next few days and share some valuable ideas and strategies with you. So for those of you who are doing stuff like this, there's a couple of things wrong with this that like prevent it from like actually getting people. Um, Two biggest ones is that the offers it's very vague, like this idea of more customer and present, like that's actually a really hard sell because the lack of meaningful specifics makes me not believe you. And I'm going to show you how to overcome this even if you don't have like testimonies or case studies, because that's usually the biggest fear is like, well, I can't show proof of results, I'm going to look stupid. I'm going to show you how this actually works in the real world in just 1 second. And the other thing is, probably the type of person you're pitching this to is wrong because if they're not running Instagram ads, you actually have two sales to make. The first is that advertisements are worth it, and then the second is that you would be the right person to do it. And then with a weak offer, like you're a long ways from converting those people with that. So let me just really quickly tell you all the stuff that doesn't matter in the beginning. Everybody's gonna tell you got to have a website, and if you're like me, you probably spent hours fucking with your logo and stuff. At least that's what I did in the beginning, like just trying to get my website perfect and SEO it and put out content and all that kind of stuff. The only thing that matters in the beginning stage, by the way, because people don't realize this, you can get to 100,000 a month. I actually have a couple of friends who got to 300,000 a month in their agency and then built their website. So the only thing that really, really matters is getting in conversations with real business owners that you want to serve and making them offers. So this is actually a good start in that it's that, but it's a very weak message and a very weak offer. So let me show you how this actually works. And the number one thing that, by the way, is going to get you a client overnight is not any of these things, but is just to do a demonstration. So I got a really cool story to illustrate this. There's a guy in Florida, and he worked for a company that sold hurricane-proof windows, and he was outselling like everybody in his entire marketplace. He was like the number one salesperson in the entire company across like 6 or 7 states, and like he had massive distance between number two and number three. And the guy was kind of a redneck. It's kind of interesting. They asked him like, "How are you doing this? Like, how are you getting all this business that other people aren't?" And they were looking at like, is it the sales technique? Is it your marketing? Have you got the objection handling sequence? And all he did was he just grabbed a window and he grabbed a hammer and he took the hammer and he went whack and he smacked it across um, the window and it didn't break. And he went, see, hurricane proof windows. Right. So a demonstration that you can actually help somebody is like the most powerful thing you can do. Now, let me take that out of the abstract and show you how that actually works in the real world. So I'm getting a little directory site built on Fiverr, and I got in conversations with like, I don't know, like 20 different freelancers. It's just one of the things I do is like getting cheap labor to get things built. So these are all people that are trying to like win my business. To like give you an example. And I ended up going with this person right here, Sarman Wabi, who has no testimonials, no reviews, no case studies, no proof of anything over all these people. And I'm going to show you in a second what all these other people did, but I want to show you what she did. So I posted my requirements of what I actually needed built, and she sent me, oh, sorry, that's the wrong one. Where did I put it? Did I put it here? Oh, okay. I guess I have to dig it up for you guys. Just 1 second. Maybe I should pause here, but let's just go scroll through this really, really quickly. Right here. This is what I wanted to show you. So this is what I actually needed built. She built this on her own little blog and said, hey, this is what the plugin looks like. So I'm getting a home birth directory built for my lady. And she said, and I needed like somebody to set up a plugin and build a submissions page. And she actually sent me a finished submission page. So how do I know she can do this job? It's like I can fucking see it, right? Like it's a demonstration. Like I don't have to guess what I'm doing. So you take a look at this message to like take this out of the abstract. If you're going to send somebody a message, it's far more powerful to send them like, hey, this could be your ad than it is to say, I would like to meet with you and talk about running ads and all those things. Is that just send them like an example of like, this could be you. I could do this for you. Would you want that? And amazingly, I was like, there are actually a few people who had done this job on here. So I was looking for somebody who had some familiarity with the plugin and knew how to do it. So this was like a person I was considering, and they were super cheap, and they had done it before, you know. But I ended up not going with them. And most of what the people do is they just send you, I can make it great. Yes, I checked again. I will do this project. You will be satisfied. You will be satisfied. You will really like it. Here's links to my previous work, blah, blah, blah. So people think what you business owners want are case studies. And I'm not saying they don't help, but trust me, she didn't need a case study. She just had to show me like, I can fucking do something for you. So the best thing you can do is actually send somebody an example. Now I will caution you a little bit here. Oh, here's another one. How much are you going to pay me for this, right? Like that stuff doesn't work to get this kind of job. But showing me an example of what can be done is far more powerful. Now, one caveat I will give you is when you don't have that established reputation and background, like nobody's going to pay you for something, like they're not going to sign up for a 12-month service. You're going to have to prove yourself. So what I suggest is think of something you can do for that business that you can deliver them a result in the first 7 days. And if it takes any longer than that, it's going to be a bad offer and it's probably not going to convert. But it's like, hey, I have this thing for you, and you show them an example of it, and I'm pretty sure it could deliver you a result. So I was talking to one of the people, one of the things they realized is a certain number of people, like they were working with e-commerce people, and a lot of them get people all the way to their cart, all the way to the end, all the way just about to buy, and then they leave and don't buy, and they don't retarget them. So they said, if I had to generate a result for somebody, I'd probably run a retargeting ad. So imagine somebody like that is you send a picture of here's an actual ad you created in Facebook or in Instagram, and you say retargeting with their product and saying, what do you think would happen if we ran this to people who almost bought? Would you be interested in running a little 7-day trial? I'd be willing to bet that maybe not everybody, but at least some of those people will hire you. So rather than doing what most of these people are doing and sending resumes and telling me all the things that they can do and blah, 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 just send an example of what you can do. It's so simple, but it actually works. And it'll save you like all kinds of stuff. So people say like, you know, here's a couple of comments I got, and I filtered out the name because obviously it can be a little sensitive when you're a beginner and you don't want to admit you don't know what you're doing, but we all start there. It's totally normal. I'm a complete beginner. I have no testimony. I just want some tips on how to acquire that first client. I'm a newbie. Many of us don't have case studies to use for leverage. So we can't have that amazing offer or pretend, say, okay, you can show us you've done it before. We will be stumped in and embarrassed. By the way, this statement is not true, that we can't have an amazing offer. You most definitely can, because this was an amazing offer, which was like, hey, I already built this thing. I'd love to just plop it in your site. Is that good? And that was basically it. So I hope that that makes sense and it's helpful to you guys. So the biggest thing, just to do a quick little recap, and this video is here for you if you need to watch it again, but don't do all the shit everybody says. Don't get caught up in building websites and blah, blah, blah. Just talk to some damn business owners. Like when I was trying to connect with lawyers, I went in lawyer groups and I talked to lawyers and I messaged with lawyers and I had phone calls with lawyers and I made offers to them, right? Like you don't need a website. You don't need content. You don't need case studies. You don't need any of those things. Everything else is literally unnecessary. And if you show them like, hey, I could do this for you, would you be interested in it? You're going to get some people to say yes. And where most people go wrong is they commit too big of a hurdle. You can do that once you're established and you have a reputation. But if you deliver on those 7 days, they'll want to do something longer term with you anyway. So That's my pro tip for like getting people. So I hope that that's super helpful for you guys and saves you just like a lot of like the guessing game is just figure out what you can do for people instead of trying to figure out one perfect generic message to send to everybody. Shit like this generally doesn't work. And you'll see like there's generic in it. Like, for example, when you say, I hope you're doing well, only people trying to sell you shit say that. So before you've even gotten to sentence two, I know you're about to try and sell me some generic shit. I was on your page and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the reason for my message is blah, blah, blah. That's another thing salespeople always say. But instead of just saying a generic, that is like, imagine you sent somebody said, hey, what do you think this would do? Like, and imagine this was their retargeting ad or a sample you could run for them. And it took you 30 seconds to set up just a preview. You don't even have to like actually run the ad and go, would you be interested in that? I bet you'd get a few people to say yes. So hope that helps you guys and saves you a fuck ton of like guessing game. Um, yeah, I'm going to turn off the recording now and send this to you guys.